I hope you got your time traveling boots on, because today we're going back in time to find some of the world's oldest coffee shops. Good morning to wherever you are. This is your Java Man, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different than my coffee around the world. I wanted to go back in time to a generalized coffee around the world. So first place we're going to is to New York in America. Now in 1927, a man named Domenico Parisi started a coffee shop in New York called Cafe Reggio. This place just happened to be the first place in America to serve a cappuccino and happened to be using a espresso maker from 1902. Now this place seems to be embracing its history with Italian art from the Renaissance period. In fact, it contains a painting from the school of Caravaggio. The coffee shop also just happens to have a bench that has the crest of the Medici family. Now, the Medici family was an Italian family that was one of the most, if not the most wealthiest families in Europe at one point. This family not only had an extremely successful banking company, but it had a political dynasty as well as a royal house set up in Italy in the 15th century. And speaking of Italy, the oldest coffee shop that is continuously running now is the Caffe Florian in Venice. Founded in 1720 by Floriano Francesconi, it is sitting perfectly smack dab in the middle of the Plaza of St. Mark. Now this place is near and dear to my heart because when me and my wife went on our honeymoon, we went to two places in Italy. We went to Rome and Venice. Now we went and visited the Caffe Florian, and I wasn't the Java Man at this time. However, I was really fond of coffee and I knew this was a really neat old place in Venice. So I remember sitting there enjoying my cup of cappuccino, and at nighttime these guys play live music in front of the cafe, and it's just a beautiful atmosphere with wonderful classic music that everyone can really enjoy for free, and it's a wonderful place to visit, and I highly recommend going there if you have the opportunity to do so. Now, because this place was founded in the 1700s, 100 years later in the 1800s, it started needing a little bit of renovation. So what they did is they had these rooms, or known as halls, that they started theming. First one being the Senate Hall, which happened to have art and different things showing the different sciences in art of that time period. Now they also added two different halls known as the Oriental Hall and the Chinese Hall. Now this had artwork from the Far East in China and in those eastern countries, as well as, well, paintings of half-naked exotic women. Now later on, two extra halls were added, first being the Hall of Illustrious Men. Now this involved paintings of 10 of the most well-known Venetian men, and then the Hall of Seasons, which had paintings of 4 different women representing the seasons of the year. And now the last hall that was added was in 1920, the Hall of Liberty. This had different hand-painted mirrors placed all about in it. However, we still haven't covered the oldest known coffee house. For that, we need to go back into the 15th century to Istanbul, or as it was known then, Constantinople. Now this place was known as Kiva, and it was founded by the Ottoman Empire that was ruling over Constantinople at the time. We really don't know much about it, I'm gonna assume, because there have been so many wars there. Any sort of history related to this coffee house probably was destroyed if there was any history documented at all. However, there is a company known as Kiva that does make coffee and, grinds coffee and sells coffee and is that kind of thing. I don't believe it is a continuation of that original coffee house, so the Caffe Florian still has the title, but it is a pretty neat idea that they are bringing up history into this coffee house. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have an idea for any sort of my videos, whether it is a coffee around the world, a review it, even a wheel of creamer. If you have an idea for just a video in general, I'm trying to brew up an idea for a Halloween video, so if you have an idea for that, please drop me one in the comments below. If you liked the video, great, like it. If you want to share it, please, I'd be more than just tickled pink if you shared this video. And I mean, if there's something I need to work on, please, I would love any sort of constructive criticism as well. And hey, let's go brew up some love for somebody.